doing, everybody?
How is everybody?
Why is it? I know what it is. I know
Could you
what
bring me up first?
because I bring you up first.
I wasn't going to tell you. I was going to just let you keep doing it.
Every damn time. Every damn time. Now I know what it is, though. Good evening, Stephanie. Let's see. We got Dan in the chat. We got Stray, Salvador. Good stream today. Salvador, he was like let off of his leash for a little bit today on his stream.
We're 6 minutes late, Sal. What do you? It's not that bad. Okay, sorry. What was he doing on his stream?
He was streaming a new trial, but every lady, every woman involved with the trial, Salvador had something vulgar to say about her. But it was perfect. Jesus, took you long enough.
It was mostly my fault.
So, have you guys heard? Valhalla's on Twitter.
I am on Twitter.
How'd that go for you last night? Was your phone just blowing up?
It was going crazy. There was people. It was vibrating all night. It was ridiculous. It took me like an hour and a half to figure out how to clear out the notifications.
That's great. That's great. Well, welcome to the dark side of the universe.
Yeah, I hate it already. It's disgusting in there.
Hey, cool gamer. Hello, hello.
By the way, it's at _ Valhalla awaits. If anybody cares to follow me on Twitter.
You know, I started typing in Valhalla awaits. Do you know how many people have some variation of that handle?
Yeah, I was trying everything to make that work. _ Valhalla awaits is what it was. That got me in.
Yeah. _ Valhalla awaits. Have you like updated your YouTube channel with your X handle at all?
No, I haven't actually. I haven't been able to get onto studio at all today. I've been busy, man. I had a VA appointment this morning. That sucked.
Those are fun. What did I have today? I was at the office most of the day. That kind of sucked. And then I hate cases with a lot of discovery. I have a civil suit, and we have 5 people that were deposed. It's not the depositions aren't bad. It's once you have 5 depositions and they're all like 100 pages long of transcripts, and then you got to go through them all to pull out the little bits of facts that you want. It's just tedious. You just sit there all day long reading depositions.
It's only horrible. Imagine. It sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But it's like really, it's really horrible to do it. But then once it's done, and once you pull out like all the relevant stuff, and you got the citations, and then you start drafting your brief, and it's so nice to have them and just sort of plug them in.
Well, good, very good.
My address. I got a Christmas gift for you.
That sounds like a trick.
Well, Salvador, my address, my professional address, is in my YouTube information. So that's where Jung sends me all of her wares and such. Welcome, Jung.
Hi, Jung.
All right. So, everybody who is watching, we have Day 5 update.
And now, as always, before we get into it, we are both streaming. Jump over to the other person's channel. Give us each a like. Help us both out.
I'm not sure if I'm pinned in Valhalla's.
You're definitely pinned. Definitely pinned in my chat.
Valhalla's definitely pinned at the top of my chat. Yeah, you guys go over and give each other thumbs up. I guess I'll give Valhalla a like.
You haven't, man.
I took a nap. I had to take a nap today.
Well, I had the important things done before I took my nap.
Yeah, I could have, but I didn't.
Y'all will be happy to know that my turtle tank, I discovered that I had some structural issues, and they have been resolved today. I fixed it, and now we're ready for the next.
With the tank itself, or with the structure underneath?
The stand itself. Okay. I realized that all of the support was just based on screw strength and not lumbar support, and I had to adjust.
Yeah, you should always have the lumbar supported underneath.
Yeah.
With more lumber.
I almost made a mistake. That thing, when it's full, it'll probably weigh something like 1,400 pounds.
I would imagine. Water's heavy. People don't realize how heavy it is.
It's 8 1/3 pounds a gallon.
And you have water turtles, right? You don't have tortoises that are land dwelling.
Correct. Water turtles. There's like 75 pounds of gravel in it. There's going to be.
I can smell your room from here, and you don't even have turtles in it yet.
But I keep them right now. They're in our bedroom, and they don't smell. You just got to keep up with it. They can get stinky.
They can real quick. I had a turtle when I was a teenager. Loved the thing. I ended up giving him back to the pet store because he was just so. Let's see here.
What?
All right. So we have day 5 update. Now, I will say that these are not notes from Audra. There was an issue, not with the Audra's fine. There was just an issue getting the notes, and I don't know how much she wants me to talk about it, but she was very disappointed she wasn't able to give us day 5 notes, and that's fine. Um, it is what it is. But so this is actually sort of a creation of mine based off of live Twitter feeds to give you guys the update on this. So just to let you know where we're coming from. This is not at all Audra. This isn't McKinley.
McKinley.
It's not McKinley. I finally remembered her name, but I was uncertain. Actually, from a series of live tweets that I was able to track down and kind of assemble and put this together. So take that for what it's worth. I don't know personally the individual that tweeted this out. It could be all garbage, but because of the nature of the tweets and sort of the live action of the tweets, I'm going to take it as it's better than nothing kind of approach. So that's what we have to present to you today. And then we'll see if we get some notes from the courtroom today is the idea. Hopefully we'll get some notes for today, which was day 6. So this was yesterday. And remember, they didn't have court on Tuesday. So this is sort of leftover from Wednesday or from Monday rather. So apparently they were also off to a delayed start again at 9:21 a.m. Kaitlin Armstrong entered the courtroom wearing a black pantsuit, white collared blouse. She greets her attorney and chats quietly with them with a smile. She nods along with whatever they are addressing. This is the most animated or talkative that he has seen Kaitlin Armstrong during the entire trial. She and her defense attorney. I'm having a hard time seeing this from this distance. I got it here. She and her defense attorney, Perrier, continue chatting and smiling as the jury is escorted in. 3 sheriff deputies take their seats beside her. The homicide detective, Spittler, who was on the stand on Monday, apparently he had a conflict, and so they ended up going to another witness, and they're going to come back to him later. So this is direct on the state's next witness, Joan Gilchrist. That's where we start. I'm just looking to see if we got it here. Fat and happy. Who's fat and happy?
My goats are all fat and happy.
Hey, by the way, so there's a llama farm between my house and my office.
Yeah?
Right by Hogue Law's office. Like 2 minutes from it. There's a llama farm. You can like walk a llama.
That sounds like it wouldn't be as fun as you think it would be.
I don't know. I want to walk a llama.
You know, I
told Jamie about it today. I think we're going to meet up and walk a llama.
Jamie's not going anywhere. She's staying in her house and pretending like she interacts with humans. She's not.
I offered it to her. I want to walk a llama.
You know, they're big, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. They're taller than you.
Yeah. They're almost horse size. They're big. Yeah.
So I don't know. I just want to walk a llama. I think it'd be fun.
I want you to film it.
Well, everything is content, especially if Jamie's going to be involved.
That's true. That is true.
So Joan is the owner of 68 Degrees Kitchen, which is directly across the street. And directly across the street is Pooled Burger. Her restaurant has various interior and exterior cameras, which were recording on 5/11/22. Was it 22? I feel like it was 21, but maybe it was 22. She had turned it over to the police when they were investigating. We are about to view the footage of the Gilchrist restaurant. The footage shows an outdoor patio adjacent to Deep Eddy Avenue. Deep Eddy Avenue. That's a weird name.
Isn't it?
It is dated 5/11, 8:15 p.m. In the background, you can see Pooled Burger, where Strickland and Wilson were dining after their swim at Deep Eddy. At 8:16 p.m., you can see a white motorcycle with 2 people on it pass by. In a different video angle, We are now looking at the interior footage of the restaurant. There are floor to ceiling windows that overlook the parking lot and the road. State pauses the video at a moment where you can see the same motorcycle with two people on it. No further questions from either the state or the defense. The witness is dismissed. So essentially, they're just trying to establish that Colin Strickland and Mo Wilson went to that restaurant and they were there approximately 8:15 to 8:16 is when we see them there. So at least know she's alive at that point. Okay, so then Detective Spittler resumes the stand and direct examination of Detective Spittler continues from Monday. If Holly, probably you read better than I do.
Spittler now talking about what happened after an arrest warrant was issued. Spittler met with U.S. Marshals and took possession of some of Armstrong's property collected in Costa Rica. In the arrest warrant, Spittler says it included details from their ballistic investigation of the likelihood that one of Armstrong's 9mm pistols was used. Some of that ballistic data was later discovered to be inaccurate. Spittler says when submitting the arrest warrant, he believed the information was accurate to the best of his knowledge. What's up, Kaiser? How you doing, buddy?
Some of it was considered inaccurate. It's interesting that they're going into that on direct, but you kind of want to get
ahead of it.
Yeah, get ahead of it.
Yeah. Spittler explained that isn't there like possible big repercussions from that, like fruit of the poison apple or whatever the hell it is?
Yeah, so the inaccurate information was used to obtain a warrant. So when you're talking about a warrant application, there's a rule that I can't remember exactly the name of the rule, but essentially the court has designed a rule, clever enough, that says, well, yes, the information that made up the warrant was inaccurate, but
if they would have found that information anyway, it's still okay.
If they would have been able to justify a warrant in some other way, or if the police issuing it had a good faith belief that the information was correct at the time they signed the sworn affidavit, that's also another way. So there's a couple of ways around that.
That seems kind of.
They had the same issue with the Cronenberg warrant, but at the end of the day, they're like, wow, they would have gotten it somehow. I hate that excuse. Cronenberg, Brian Cronenberg.
Is that his name?
No, it's Kohlberger.
Okay. There you go. I was like, that's not right. I know it's not right. Spittler explaining the difference between results from an examination from a firearms examiner versus NIBIN, National Integrated Ballistics Information Network. NIBIN is a good lead to follow, Spittler says, but a ballistics examination will be much more accurate.
Hey, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki. Spittler discussing some of the inaccuracies he found with the footage provided to APD from Andrew Vaughn. It was 6 minutes off, Spittler says, which proved to be problematic when trying to build a timeline of the events.
Yeah, that would suck. I was reading this earlier. Actually, I had my phone read it to me because I was just like kicking back. And I was just thinking, oh God, how frustrating that was for these officers. Like, this thing is off. Why can't we get this to line up?
Well, that would make sense. Can't you just like look at the watch and look at the system though? Isn't it an easy thing to tell?
I don't know.
Spittler discussing a follow-up investigation of Gunnar Shaw, an ex-boyfriend of Mo Wilson. Spittler pursued him as a possible person of interest, seeking to find out where Shaw was when Wilson was murdered. Spittler, everything about this scene seemed like it was very personal, a personal homicide. So I wanted to try to track down anybody who had something personal with her, some sort of personal relationship. There was a Reddit post with someone discussing their abusive ex-boyfriend, and the username was similar to Mo Wilson's name. Spittler believed that Wilson wrote it, and thus Shaw could have been the murderer. Spittler found Shaw, and he was cooperative. He provided flight information and receipts for a rental car, which put him more than 7,000 miles away at the time of the murder. Hold the phones. They found somebody with a similar screen name, and were like, oh, this is likely our victim.
Yeah. Yeah, talking about an abusive ex-boyfriend. I think later they confirmed that it in fact wasn't Mo, but they were heavily suspecting this guy, Spittler. Hang on, let me see if I could find it.
That seems extremely loose.
Well, he showed receipts, right? That he was like 3,000 miles away. What are the receipts?
Maybe literal receipts.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Literal receipts. I don't think they're talking in slang. I was trying to find a picture of this guy actually, but I can't really find one. But yeah, so apparently they I think it's a little bit later. They determined that in fact it wasn't Mo with the post, but they still heavily suspected Gunnar Shaw
From
being
somebody
involved.
else's post. It seems like shoddy police work to me.
He provided flight information and receipts for a rental car, which placed him 7,000 miles away at the time of the murder. How convenient.
Pursuing the Reddit post further, Spiller found that the posts continued all the way through July 10th, with the murder happening May 11th. Spiller determined the poster could not have been Mo Wilson. Shocking. Spiller began to look into a man named Alan Lim. Why? Did he one time go on this Reddit thread or something tangentially not important? Spiller requested Lim's alibi for May 11th. Lim was cooperative and provided.
Well, he was told. You skipped a part. Spiller was told
my bad.
that Lim and Wilson were close. And remember, he thinks this is a personal murder, so that's why he went and talked with Lim. So that's all. You just missed that.
Skipped right over it.
You did. It's okay. Spiller requested Lim's alibi for May 11th. Lim was cooperative and provided cell phone records showing his geolocations, his Strava account showing his ride on the morning of May 11th, and then an airport receipt showing that he was on flight to
Austen, Texas.
Landing at 9:15, the time of the murder. Well, how convenient is that for Lim? He was ruled out as a suspect as well. On October 20th, Spiller. So the reason why they're doing this is because the defense is like, it could have been anybody, but it definitely wasn't my client. That's the defense's angle here. We got that from opening. So they're trying to show a thorough investigation.
They're eliminating any of the possible other people that this could have been.
Yeah, she done it. Well, there's a lot of people that didn't do it. It's apparent, but did she do it? I don't know yet.
I'm not sure yet.
They're showing motive. Okay. But everyone has motive for something. It doesn't mean, everyone's got debt. We're not all guilty of robbing that bank. It's just motive isn't enough. All right. So what did I
on October 20th, Spiller was notified that Armstrong's DNA was found on Wilson's bicycle, which was ditched in the bamboo forest, not a forest.
It's not a forest. You can't get at it. There's a freaking fence. And there was also testimony that it was in the field across the street. So, whatever. But how'd the DNA get there, Valhalla?
That's a little odd, actually.
It's a little odd unless we talk about what type of DNA was it. Is it transfer DNA?
Touch DNA?
Touch DNA? Because maybe Colin gave Kaitlin a back rub, went over to Mo's, handled her bicycle, looking it over because he's interested in such things, and the DNA got there.
Could be.
Right? So we don't know what kind of DNA it is. So that's
could have came from like the defendant or the defense attorney was saying. It could have just been because Kaitlin and Mo rode on the same spot on the motorcycle. With
could have been that too.
The jacket and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been.
So it depends on how much DNA they found. Was it like everywhere or what? But anyways,
was it?
We'll continue because we don't have this is not a DNA expert. He's just talking about. This is the lead detective.
Detective Spiller.
Yeah.
Spiller says that after reviewing evidence at the crime scene, he believed there was a possibility that the shooter had injured themselves, possibly dropping their own blood at the crime scene. His theory, the shooter was gripping the gun too tightly and the weapon caught on the shooter's hand, leaving a trail of blood on Wilson's leg. The blood, after examination, came back as Wilson's. The theory was thus disproved. Spiller.
Oh, okay. Okay. So there was blood on Wilson's leg. I get it now. Okay. And then I was confusing my names. I was like, Caitlin's blood is on Mo's leg. That's pretty damning. but
That
that
is
turns
pretty
out
bad.
not to. Yeah, but that's not what is here. Okay.
Spittler discussing an indoor firing range. Austin Police Department collected records from the range, which Spittler discussed with fellow detectives. The prosecution apologizes for jumping all over the place with his lines of questioning for Spittler, now discussing a washer-dryer at Cash's residence. The washer-dryer had a defect, which Spittler says could have been caused by a projectile. He doesn't know what caused the defect, but it was documented. Spittler says approximately 25 to 30 search warrants were issued throughout the course of the investigation, included cell phone data, cell phone devices, Google accounts, vehicle warrants, residence warrants, social media accounts.
Can I tell you how frustrating it is as a civil attorney to try to get access to Google accounts and social media accounts? They will hand over information to the police, usually without even a warrant. They'll just hand it over to the government. But if you, as a civil attorney, want to get it, I got to go to California, open up an ancillary case, and then sue them essentially to get this stuff. It's a pain in the ass, and I hate them for it. Sorry, YouTube. You didn't do anything wrong. We love you, YouTube. You're perfect. But all other social media platforms suck.
On June 2nd, Spittler was notified that Armstrong's Jeep was located at a CarMax in North Austin. He contacted CarMax inquiring about the car mileage. He knew that it possibly included GPS data, but he was unsure how long the Jeep would store that information. It had only been driven 13 miles since Armstrong turned it in. Spittler also asked about maintenance and if the GPS data was wiped. He requested CarMax no longer touch the Jeep. That makes sense.
Was this a leased Jeep, I guess, then? She turned it in early and took off to Costa Rica?
That makes sense.
I feel like I'm missing part of the story here.
But yeah, because I don't know why you would sell. Yeah, I'm on the same page with you.
Yeah, I think that's what it's got to be.
That makes sense. Spittler went to CarMax and removed the infotainment system. A search warrant was approved, and he took it to a forensics expert to examine. The results took him to an apartment complex in South Austin, down the street from Strickland/Armstrong's home. It had now been a few months since the murder. He went to the complex to try to find more video surveillance and to scan the area of the apartment. Upon arrival, he located 2 dumpsters at the end of where the GPS showed the Jeep stopped. Spittler later looked through Armstrong's iCloud account. He looked through a deleted notes folder and found a note that had an address next to the murder scene. This obviously caught Spittler's attention. In Armstrong's, okay. Spittler being asked to confirm the contents of a hard drive, which he says contains information regarding the search warrants. It has now been admitted into evidence. The defense team is huddling privately at their table. Armstrong looks and listens on to their conversation. Inside the courtroom, we are now looking at pictures of a black Jeep Cherokee that were taken at CarMax.
Sorry, I'm going to scroll up. There we go.
I'm reading off my own.
Oh, okay, cool.
I can make it bigger. Spittler says Armstrong drove the Jeep to the CarMax. The photos show the exterior of the Jeep from the front, the side, the back. The bike rack has been removed. Now interiors of the driver's side, passenger side, infotainment system, a picture of the infotainment system removed, and the serial number. More photos now. Washer dryer inside the unit. Blood from the murder can be seen smeared on the hardwood floors beneath it. Spittler says the medical examiner smeared that blood accidentally when removing Wilson's body. Close-up photos of
the defects I want to say
previously mentioned.
That they're being upfront and honest about all of their investigation, the fact that they're smearing blood and they're keeping track of this. The mistake on the warrant. They're being upfront and honest about this. This is a legitimate prosecution which seeks the truth, right? We don't see that very often. We see a lot of shenanigans with prosecutions, and it's usually when the case is a lot weaker. Then they start pulling fast ones and they start glossing over things like this. But when, the big difference was like the first trial I streamed was Zachariah Anderson, all kinds of BS. The second one was Letitia Stout, straight up, straightforward, honest application of the prosecutor's authority. And this one too is a very straight up, honest application of the prosecutor's authority and the way you present evidence. And I like seeing that. I just had to add that.
It's rare. It's rare to see a prosecutor's office that's striving for justice rather than convictions.
Yeah, no, that's I guess, you said it more succinctly than than I did. But yeah, that's right. And I'll praise the prosecutor's office for doing this.
I'm with you on that. Get wrecked gravely. And
Yes.
continuing. Where was I? Pictures of more photos. Mo Wilson pictured smiling in a red flannel. A different photo. The 2 dumpsters found at the South Austin apartment complex near Armstrong/Strickland's home. 1 dumpster is overflowing. A 3rd photo is a Google Maps snippet of Maple Avenue and Cash's apartment.
Okay, so more photos. Mo Wilson's pictured smiling in red flannel. A different photo. 2 dumpsters found at the South Austin apartment complex near Armstrong Strickland's home. 1 dumpster is overflowing. A 3rd photo is a Google Maps snippet, but they don't say where they got the Google Maps snippet. That's what I was wondering. Is this like a piece of paper thrown in the dumpster?
It's
not clear from this. This is why I wish. Again, it's not Audra's fault that we don't have the notes. I just want to say that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
no. Audra did nothing wrong, and why we don't have the notes from day 5. But this is why I like having Audra's notes and also her in the chat.
Because she can clarify, and we've got eyes on, and
Yes.
Yeah.
So, so we're missing some information here, I feel like. Unless this is truly how it was presented, and we're getting to more foundational stuff with another witness, I guess. But yeah, I mean, Google Maps snippet of Maple Avenue near Cash's apartment. I have that on my computer right now. I pulled it up earlier. So where did this come from? Who generated it?
Where were you on May 11th, sir?
Yeah, right. Yes, I agree. Audra rocks.
Audra is awesome. We love her.
We appreciate all of her effort. And there we go. All right. All right. I'm gonna keep scrolling, but I'm gonna jump off real quick. I'll be right back.
Yep. Going back to deleted note from Armstrong's iCloud. Note was deleted on May 12th, 2022. That's twice now with the 2022. Maybe we're wrong. We are now looking at Google subscriber information belonging to Kaitlin Armstrong, attained via search warrant. Armstrong's personal and professional email accounts are displayed. These Google forms were created on 5/14/22. We are now looking at new yoga-related email addresses and accounts belonging to Kaitlin Armstrong that were created in the days following the murder. The Google accounts belonging to Kaitlin include welcome letters from Google addressing her as Kai. The date is 5/13 for the creation of this new account. A different email from CarMax to this new Google account has an offer for a Jeep Grand Cherokee of $12,200. A different email from CarMax to this new account. Okay. On May 14th, Armstrong's iCloud account was accessed from one of the new email addresses. The Google alert.
Ooh, I got text from Audra.
Ooh.
She's got a picture of Spittler.
Nice.
So thank you, Audra. I'm going to save all these, and I'll get them up to you guys in a second. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to let you know that Audra is texting me right now with all kinds of cool information.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
The Google alert regarding the iCloud access is addressed to KA on May 13th. An email from Uber showing a ride taken at 9:30 p.m. totaling $21.26. The last 4 digits of a Visa are displayed. The ride begins at Armstrong's address and ends at the airport. Another email from Southwest Airlines to an email associated to Armstrong's iCloud. The name on the itinerary is Kaitlin Armstrong. From Austin to Bergstrom International Airport. To LaGuardia, there is a layover in Nashville. Cost is $327.98.
Yeah, she's using Google and iCloud, and all this stuff is just basically giving away all of her plans. There's no such thing as hiding your footprint, your digital footprint. She tried to create a fake account under the name Guy or Kai or whatever.
Do we know what her sister's name is yet?
Yeah, actually, we do. Oh no, it just has Armstrong. So this is Caitlin's.
Christine. It says Christine.
Does it say Christine there?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay, so this is the sister's passport compared to Caitlin's passport, and you can kind of see why she got the smaller nose. If you guys don't know this story, so Kaitlin had her nose was a little wider. And she got a nose job when she was in Costa Rica and made it much narrower. I wish I had the side by side. But anyways, you can see her sister has a more narrower nose. So it was definitely the idea was to pass herself off as her sister. Dyed her hair dark, got a narrower nose, made herself look more like her sister. So there we go.
A different email from Southwest Airline. It is a change in the itinerary. The layover is no longer in Nashville, but in Houston. Final destination still LaGuardia. A different welcome email for a NetSpend Visa prepaid card dated 5/16. It is addressed to Kaitlin. NetSpend allows someone to spend money without going through a credit card company. Another email with the United Airlines reservation to San Jose, Costa Rica. The date is 5/18/22. Flight departs Newark Airport to San Jose. Total is $146.66. That's all it takes to fly to Costa Rica? All right.
I guess. Although I will say that my wife is just planning her trip to Sweden coming up. She got round trip $500.
Damn, all right.
Airline tickets, they fluctuate. They're all over the place, depending
That's
on
true.
what you got going on, where you're going at any particular time. But Costa Rica, this is in May, April, May. Isn't that hurricane season?
Oh, how would I know when hurricane season in Costa Rica is?
I don't know. I feel like it is.
It could be.
Maybe
I'm not going to say you're wrong.
I don't know.
Oh, I feel like it's usually a little later in the summer, though, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't live in those climates. That's why I live in Michigan. Okay, you guys want to see what this detective looks like?
Yeah.
This is him leaving court today. So that's what this detective looks like. He looks a lot younger than I thought he would. I have a bunch more pictures to upload. I'll put it in Discord as well, but this is what him leaving court today.
Well, this is the guy that this is his first homicide case, right? Or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But still, I don't know. I feel like he
Alright.
looks a lot younger. But anyway, so that's him. Thank you very much, Otter, for sending this picture and the others. And I will put all of them in Discord.
Heck yeah. Audrey, you're the shit.
Yes.
A pretty good price, the prosecutor says, tongue in cheek. The courtroom gallery laughs.
Yeah, right.
Another United Airlines email showing the confirmation and flight itinerary leaves EWR, which I don't remember where that is anymore, Newark, at 5:09 p.m. and arrives 8:19 p.m. on 5/18. The traveler is listed as Kaitlin Armstrong. Hey, Josie.
Hey, Josie, welcome.
Another email with a subscription confirmation for Surfshark VPN to Armstrong's email. VPN is being charged for $47.99 beginning May 25th. Well, there you go. Half Irish has got us.
There's a 1 week, June to November is hurricane season in the Atlantic.
She would know. She lives in Ireland, right?
He's a detective.
Are you in the UK, half Irish?
I feel like she is.
I think she is. I'm pretty sure she is.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. There is a 1 week free trial. VPN is a private network used to hide locations while you are online, Spittler says. Another email for a Skype account delivered to K. Another email with receipt for the Skype account. There are Visa 4 digits shown. An address of 4924 Manchester is shown for the billing of the Visa. It matches Armstrong's business address. We are going to be looking at a search folder.
Okay. Can she really say I didn't go to Costa Rica? She was arrested there and extradited, right?
Yeah, that's not going to work.
So what I'm really curious at is when she planned these. She planned this on 5/18, right? Or no, that's the arrival. Sorry. United Airlines reservation. The date is 5/18. I
think this is all after.
Yeah. Okay. So to me,
I think she's in panic mode.
She's in panic mode. Yeah. So on May 13th, this is after. On May 14th, Armstrong iCloud account was accessed from one of the new email addresses. Okay. She is definitely running. But the question is why? Is it guilt? Is it consciousness of guilt? Or is it because, like all of you, you've watched some shady ass criminal trials where people are literally indicted for next to nothing and they get locked up. So is she running because she's scared of being convicted of a crime she truly didn't commit? Because I feel like that's where the defense has to go with this. I believe it's plausible.
Just for the record, I think this woman is guilty as sin. I think that this is very obviously a murder, and she freaked out and tried to run away and hide, and it didn't work. But until we get there, I'm still giving her the benefit of the doubt. Could have been lots of reasons.
She's all, as Armo would say, she is all of the guilties. Yes,
she is all of the guilties.
Okay. On a deep down gut instinct level, I say she is all of the guilties. However, I'm still trying to sit here as a defense counsel. What would I argue and what would I hope the jury would listen to? And there's plenty of reasons why people do things. And Audra's in the chat, by the way. I just wanted to point her out again. Hey, Audra, thank you very much for helping us out with this trial and sending the pictures over. She keeps sending me a ton more pictures, so I'm going to have to get those all in the Discord. Because CS broke up with her a few days after the murder. Maybe he told her, go. I don't know if they've proven it yet. Okay. I mean, that's another theory, right? He's kicking her out of the house.
She just broke up with her longtime boyfriend that she's been living with for years. She may have just wanted a vacation to Costa Rica to have a few drinks, maybe climb under a new guy for a little while and kind of blow off some steam and get a girls trip in. Who knows?
I think that's less likely because she did travel.
You got to shoot my idea. I was trying to help your idea. You just got to shoot my idea.
You're bullshitting my idea. You're
horrible.
You presented a condescending version of my argument. She traveled under her sister's passport. She doesn't want the authorities to know she left the country, they didn't know for a while. She is hiding. The question is why is she hiding? A lot of people say that about James and Jennifer Crumbley too. They were hiding. No, they were being harassed by everybody and their brother to the point that they had to get burner phones and go hide out in an apartment or in a hotel. They weren't hiding. They were just
also in touch. Safe. They were also in touch with law enforcement the whole time, right?
They were in touch with law enforcement and their attorney the entire time. Yes. Yeah. So, according to the news media, they were hiding. So that's what I'm saying. Let's take this with a grain of salt here. All right, where were we? I don't know where we are.
We are now going to be looking at a search folder showing search activity from one of Armstrong's iCloud email addresses. The searches encompass several weeks. The prosecution will point out a few items. On 5/27, search for Kaitlin Armstrong. On 5/27, a KVUE article related to Kaitlin Armstrong fleeing to Costa Rica. On 5/27, a news story search with title Moira Wilson murder. Colin Strickland in hiding until suspect.
So I wanted to pull that up because
Colin Strickland in hiding?
It's a hyperlink. He went in hiding.
Really?
Colin went in hiding. I'm gonna that blue link is a hyperlink, and when I post this, I already posted it in Discord. You guys can follow that hyperlink and read the article. He's already in hiding.
That's different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that there might be a little more to it. Yeah. There might be a little more to it.
His on again, off again, friends with benefits that he's cheating on the girlfriend with turns up murdered. He's the last person to see her alive.
Minutes before.
He could potentially very easily be facing the same charges. So it would be, again, if he goes hiding, I don't blame him. If he stops answering police questions, I don't blame him because he could just as easily be charged. And maybe Kaitlin and him had a conversation and she freaked out and she left the country. It's interesting as we get into, I don't know if it's later on day 5 or if it's today's testimony. The only thing I've gotten so far is today morning testimony. But the woman that interrogates Kaitlin has a lot to say, and Kaitlin has a lot to say. So it's, you might get an idea of her mindset. She might be freaking out. Oh my God, they're accusing me of murder and I didn't do this and I'm leaving town.
Maybe she watched the Zachariah Anderson case and wanted to get the F out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Austen cyclist murder. Kaitlin Armstrong flew to New York. KVUE. Defense calls for a sidebar with the judge. Both defense and state approach Judge Kennedy. Armstrong watches from her seat at the defense table. She shows no emotion. One jury member gazes at the gallery. Spitler sits quietly at the witness stand. Mo Wilson's father looks up at the screen of news articles. Mo Wilson's mother huddles and whispers to Mr. Wilson. Caitlin Cash has her arm around her friend, and they speak quietly. The sidebar lasts longer than we have seen in the past. They come to an agreement and return to their seats. We are now watching the KVE video attached to the web article. The audio has been muted. In the video, you can see footage of Armstrong walking through the airport. Spitler believes it is footage from LaGuardia.
And so this is... Oh, no. Sorry, I haven't pulled it up yet. I apologize. Oh, wait, did I even download this one? I don't know if I got these. I've been trying to get some stills together, or no, I didn't. I just downloaded the same one again. All right, so I don't have that. I have some other ones that'll be coming up.
Cool.
All right.
We are now watching the cave. I already read that. Spitler says there are a number of instances when Armstrong was searching for her own name from Costa Rica. 528, a search. Can Mia be tracked if not making phone calls? Spitler says Mia refers to a digital fingerprint, a way for a cell phone to be tracked. Oh,
okay.
I did not know that.
I didn't either.
623 search. Can pineapples burn your fingerprints?
This is an actual article, by the way. I can, again, it's a hyperlink. We can pull it up. And what does it say here? There's a common preconception that workers who work in harvesting and cutting pineapples will eventually lose their fingerprints. Supposedly, this is caused by actions of the proteolytic enzymes within the pineapple. But is this true? And then the article goes through and determines, I don't know if it's true. I didn't read the article. But yeah, so apparently there is a thing out there. There's absolutely no way that this particular enzyme will destroy your fingerprints. So that's the essence of the article.
That makes sense. I mean, I don't know why a pineapple enzyme would burn off your fingerprints.
It's probably an acid, and people are thinking, well, acids burn off fingerprints. You know, they can. Like I have when I grew up, we had a pool, and we used to dump liquid chlorine in, and you'd get it on your hands, and all of a sudden your hands would be like slimy because it would take off a layer of your skin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it would take off a layer of your skin, and your hands would be like super slick, but you still had your fingerprints. But it's acidy, right? And in theory, it could dissolve all of your fingerprints. So maybe they just think that's the same type of acid. I don't know.
I think she's just desperate, trying to figure out whatever she can.
Yeah.
There are numerous searches for rhinoplasty, plastic surgery. Now looking at various metaforms which show access from Kaitlin Armstrong's Instagram account to Colin Strickland's account and Mo Wilson's account. Now looking at Strava data for Kaitlin Armstrong on 5/11/22. She went for a morning ride for 24.3 miles, lasting an hour, 28 minutes, and 58 seconds. No further questions from the state.
All right. So now we have Cross. Yeah. I keep forgetting about this. I will try to remember to do it for the next stream if I can't bring it up now. But that black SUV in the news media coverage with the bike rack on the back is just so weird. That's like, I think it's the landlords. Like, that's pretty interesting.
That is.
Yeah. Okay. So the defense asks if Spitler discussed firearms and sharing his opinions about firearms with Strickland. He recalls his opinion about shooting and being relaxed as it being relaxing. Defense asked about the level of proficiency required to make the shot we see in the murder case. Spitler says he can't answer that because he doesn't know the distance of the shots were fired. Defense questions Spitler. Well, that kind of makes sense. Point blank as opposed to, 1,000 yards. Defense questioning Spitler about his experience as a police officer and homicide detective. Since 5/11, Spitler says he has led about 5 homicide investigations since 5/11/2022, or since 5. Okay, so it's just repeating. He says he almost always encounters mistakes that are made along the way. Defense asks about investigative techniques when there are no eyewitnesses. Spittler says he tries to canvass the area of the murder with other detectives. Defense pulls up a previous map of the neighborhood, asks if the police attempted to speak to residents in each and every home on Maple Avenue. Spittler says he does not believe so. Spittler agrees he did not personally speak to every resident. Spittler agrees there were no residents who heard the gunshots nor saw Armstrong at the scene of the murder. The defense asks if Spittler reached out to people who knew Colin Strickland, Cash, and Mo Wilson. Spittler says he spoke to Wilson's roommate, friends, and family. Defense asked for Spittler to open and review his supplemental investigation documents. The defense is asking how, with no eyewitnesses to the murder, Spittler labeled Armstrong as a suspect. Spittler says he didn't. He listed her as a possible suspect. Defense asked about Mo Wilson's ex, Gunnar Shaw. Spittler confirms there was a history of domestic violence. Oh, so there was some DV there. Defense wonders why more attention wasn't paid to Shaw. Spittler says his alibi checked out and it didn't match the timeline. He admits that he didn't know that information at the time he ruled them out. So he ruled them out even though he didn't know the information about the alibi.
That's another thing that he's being straightforward about.
Like straightforward about it on cross. He's being pulled out. That information's being pulled out on cross. This is indirect. He said, well, his alibi checked out, so it wasn't him. But that's apparently not the chain of events. First, he said, we cleared him, and then his alibi checked out. So, hold up, Dave. Screenshot it. What'd you screenshot? Did you send me something else? Oh, okay, cool. So this is the see, I get stuff on my phone and then I got to email it and then I got to pull it up. So give me a second, but I'll get it in a second. This is the news report that was like a broadcaster was like outside the apartment.
Yeah.
Stuff was happening, and the as they're like panning around, there's a black SUV with a bike rack in the back. You're like, anyone want to talk to this person?
Could have been this one. Could have been this one here.
This is what's in the back when the news reporter is there. And it's parked under the garage. So if you guys don't understand the makeup, the landlord lives at the house on the one side of the property. In like the backyard is a garage that you can enter in and out of through like an alleyway behind the property. And above that garage is an apartment. That's where Mo's friend lived, and that's where Mo was shot and killed. And there's a bunch of videos saying there was a black SUV with a bike rack on the back that was driving around and casing the joint, essentially. And that was seen, and that was what they're like, that person is either the killer or knows something. And then when they went to Colin's house, they see Kaitlin's black SUV with the bike rack. And so they're like, oh, well, this must have been her. What is this black SUV with the bike rack doing parked in the garage? Is the question that I'm posing.
Just as easily been.
I'm posing this question, and Audra found it. She was watching a news report about it, and they were like standing out in this alleyway filming the garage with the apartment, talking about this is where Mo was murdered. And they pan around and you see this black SUV. So I'm questioning it as to why nobody looked into that person.
It's a valid question.
Right? I'm just saying. Hey, Moni, welcome.
How are you,
Utterances here. Hello.
Hey, you.
Oh, and it's like one of my normal streams where I'm reading a lot. I'm not paying attention to the chat, so I apologize ahead of time, guys. I don't even know where we left off.
Possible suspect. Defense.
Oh, yeah, we were
about Mo Wilson's ex, Gunnar Shaw.
We read all this.
Oh, we did that one too.
Next one.
Now defense asking about a second interrogation with Colin Strickland. In this interview, Spittler asked Strickland if he knew anyone who might have wanted to hurt or kill Wilson. Strickland didn't know anyone, but mentioned ex-boyfriends. Spittler says Strickland mentioned Gunnar Shaw by name. Strickland mentioned that Shaw was not happy with Wilson's relationship with Strickland.
So we have jealousy going the other way. We have an ex-boyfriend of Moe's that's apparently jealous of Strickland. And that seems more like the appropriate response. It could
I don't
go.
know if I would say appropriate. I don't know if that was the right word,
The
but I get what you're saying.
Target of your frustration is your significant other, not other person.
You can talk to somebody, all right? Hit a pillow or something. Don't go all Rambo.
All I'm saying is it might have been justified.
It could have been. Spiller says he spoke to Shaw and another ex, Alan Lim, in July of 2022. He said he was working against his theory that Armstrong committed this murder. Every single lead kept coming back to Spitler that Armstrong was the murderer. The jury has been dismissed so the defense can help Spitler refresh his memory. Spitler seems to be contradicting on the stand what the defense believes is on the record, testimony, and on the record evidence. After a brief back and forth and clarification, both sides have now agreed that Spitler was confused if the defense was asking about Gunnar Shaw or Alan Lim. Jury is being brought back in. Spitler says he was calling Lim because he wasn't sure what the defense was going to pull. Spitler admits that he lied to Lim, essentially telling him he wasn't a suspect in this murder, so that way he could get him to cooperate. Defense: were you interested in eliminating potential suspects, or were you simply trying to defeat defense arguments? Spitler: probably both.
All right, fair enough.
Once again, don't talk to cops, y'all. They lie. Defense:
they do. They absolutely do, and then it's illegal for you to lie to them.
Weird.
It's funny how that works.
Oh, shit.
Defense wonders if Spitler was trying to eliminate other potential suspects to make the case against Armstrong, basically not doing true due diligence. This is what we see a lot with police officers, by the way. He's not just pulling this out of a hat. You see it a lot of times when the police, they focus in on somebody and then they stop looking at other evidence that could point the finger at somebody else. It's not unheard of for this to happen. Spitler says his goal was to find out the truth. He wants to end suffering for the victims' families, the police department for the deceased. The police department and for the deceased, I guess. Defense asks about physical evidence and how detectives can decide if it is inculpatory or exculpatory. Spitler says he believes all evidence was analyzed. Defense bewildered that the lead detective didn't know for certain if all evidence was analyzed. Okay. Defense asked about a rape kit. Was that performed on Wilson's vagina during her autopsy? It was collected as evidence. The rape kit, in this case, was not forensically analyzed, Spitler admits. Why? I find that odd. I feel like the rape kit should have probably been tested.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Defense. Well, we will never know what evidence was present in that kit, will we? Spitler, we will not. Spitler says there is no evidence of sexual assault. Spitler was the one who chose not to have the rape kit. Why will we never know what happened to the rape kit? I feel like that should have been preserved too.
Don't they usually keep those for a long time?
Yeah.
Well, especially since the trial's still ongoing. Like they wouldn't get rid of that evidence before the trial, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was he just being dramatic? Well, I guess we'll never know, will we?
Yeah. I guess we'll never know. Although he says it'll never be tested.
Well, the trial's right now. When else would they test it?
They could literally test it right now while the trial is going on, I guess. Presumably the defense would have asked for it. Would have asked to have it tested, I guess. Maybe not. Maybe it's better to not know.
Maybe.
But Spitler says digital evidence can be deleted from the surface of the program, but can be kept in the memory of the program. Photos, apps, searches, emails, conversations can all be accessed from digital extraction. Spitler disagrees that it takes an expert to find this information. I use experts all the time, and you'd be amazed at the stuff that you can find on people's phones with that they've deleted. Yeah.
I'm sure.
I like a 14-year-old cell phone that had the phone for like 2 months, and the digital information that came from it filled a 6-inch binder.
Holy crap.
Yeah. And just so much stuff is on your phone that you didn't even know is there. Now discussing the laptops, phones, tablets that were seized from the property on 5/12. Spittler says that Strickland really wanted his laptop back. Well, I could see that. On 5/19, Spittler received a search warrant to seize Armstrong's laptop. I wonder why it took so long. Strickland's laptop was not forensically analyzed. I feel like if you wanted to rule him out, you would do that. But then again, at the same time, we also have his cell phone data and other things that basically say he's leaving. Right? But maybe there's communication between him and Kaitlin. I don't know.
That
Spittler
could be.
admits that in hindsight, it's likely that important information about the case could have existed on Strickland's laptop, but at this point in time, Strickland only appeared to be a witness. On 5/19, Spittler allowed Strickland to retrieve his laptop. Spittler says he searched the laptop beforehand, but did not insist on a trained forensic expert to perform a thorough extraction. Spittler admits Strickland's laptop, which was a piece of evidence at one point, is the only evidence which is no longer in the custody of the police or the criminal court. Spittler says he returned it to Strickland because he wanted him to be cooperative. Even though Strickland gave permission for the laptop to be extracted, defense grills Spittler as to why he didn't take that step. Now, that's the other thing, too. Like, it doesn't take very long to extract information from a laptop. Literally,
You just plug it in the device. It takes like an hour to 3 or something, right?
An hour to 3 hours. I had a forensic, my forensic guy comes by the office and he'll sit there for, maybe 3-4 hours at the most. And he extracts everything from all the devices. And then he's like, all right, I'll let you know and send me the downloads. And that's it. And then you can give the devices back. It doesn't take that long. It's really quite simple to extract everything. It's going over it that takes the time. Right? You can extract it.
Then you got to analyze tens of thousands of pieces of information.
Yeah. I feel so bad for the lady on Baker Stream.
What happened to the lady on Baker Stream?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to the chat's having a separate conversation right now.
They always do.
They always do, and that's fine. I was just trying to figure out what it was, and I have no clue.
Well, now I'm curious. What happened to the lady on Baker Stream?
Yeah, now we want to know.
What the hell, Chad?
You fill us
in. We'll keep reading. Love. Oh.
All right.
Defense. Go ahead.
Did you treat Colin Strickland differently because he was a minor celebrity? Spittler, no, sir. Spittler admits on 5/12/22 was that the first time he met Strickland? The two had met at a Taco Del while he was on patrol about 3 years prior to the murder. Defense seizing on the opportunity that Spittler might have known and favored Strickland all along. They met at a Taco Del 3 years prior.
Taco Deli.
Or Taco Deli, whatever. I'm thinking Del Taco. That's why it popped into my head.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I can see, I see the connection.
Is this like a celebrity meetup? Is this like a race thing? Or is this like I pulled him over and arrested him 3 years ago at a Taco Deli? Well, I mean, again, we're missing some information here. We're listening, Dave, I swear. The trial that Baker is streaming. The trial that Baker is streaming is, the defendant is being charged with running down her husband.
With a Dodge Ram.
The trial is a tragic accident. Yeah, it sounds like there was potentially some DV going on, and she was trying to flee. That's what it sounds like. Okay, so you're just talking about the defendant in that case. No, there's a Del Taco. Del Taco is a restaurant brand. It's like Taco Bell, but worse.
But worse?
Yeah. Okay, so the question I have for you, Audra, is Spittler admits that on 5/12/2022 that it wasn't the first time he met Strickland, that Spittler had met Strickland at a Taco Deli while he was on patrol about 3 years prior to the murder. And so my question for you is was this a casual meetup? Was this like a celebrity bike racing event, or was like, was Strickland pulled over and arrested by the detective 3 years ago? Like, what's the context of them meeting up? I guess is my question.
He was a fan. He got an autograph.
She should have had a lawyer when talking to the police. She should always have a lawyer.
Never talk to the police without a lawyer. Never. Never, never, never. Because no matter what you say, they're going to use it against you one way or the other. They're good at it. They've developed systems for it.
Absolutely. Anything you say.
Absolutely anything.
Okay. Why does everybody want to call me when I'm streaming? Aren't they watching me on YouTube right now? Anyone I know should be watching me on YouTube right now. They know I'm streaming. Okay.
If they don't, they should.
Yeah, right. I just, you know what I'm going to set up an automatic reply. You know, you can set those up on your phone. So you just
streaming. Here's the link.
Well, it's like, I was going to be like, I'm streaming right now. Why are you not watching me and know this already? That's my automatic reply.
I thought we were friends. Oh, that's funny.
Then they're not your friends. Yeah, I know. It's funny. My wife is the only one that I'll give a pass to because she always says she never watches me. She only watches Emily D. Baker if she's watching any Law 2.
Well, if you're going to watch somebody on YouTube.
Yeah, right?
Right.
All right, where were we?
Spittler admits that five... No, you already read that.
Discussing his understanding. Spittler discussing his understanding of NIBIN, the network of ballistic information and evidence that investigators use to track and trace spent shell casings at crime scenes. Spittler admits that some inaccuracies were discovered in this case from NIBIN investigation. Breaking, the defense moves for a mistrial, saying that that the district attorney did not turn over key evidence relating to the vandalism report that happened in the days following the murder. He says the information is consequential to the murder. And I believe that's what Audra was talking about earlier in the chat when she said that the argument the defense is making is that there's all kinds of like break-ins and stuff, and that's why she went on the run, or partly why she went on the run.
Well, yeah, because the vandalism, whatever, the pavers and the bike and the dollar bills.
Oh, Spittler was a bicycle cop, so it was a casual run-in thing. Okay. All right, fair enough. He's a bicycle cop. There's a minor celebrity in the bicycle racing world. Okay.
That makes sense.
All right, so the defense moves for a mistrial and says the information is consequential to the trial. Defense, it is assuredly material. That's a weird way of saying it. It is clear the police department never turned it over to the DA and to the defense. The judge has heard enough, denies the motion for mistrial. I could see this judge being like, okay, that's enough.
We're done. Keep going.
Given this look.
Right.
Which apparently, according to Audra, is the look that this judge has on her face most of the time during the trial.
That's good. State is saying that he can get access to the vandalism report and they can enter it into evidence. Says he would be okay with the continuation if that's what the defense needs. ADA. Defense misinterprets the law. Judge ultimately reminds everyone she denied the motion for a mistrial and urges the defense to move on. Wow, that was a really epic and heart-pounding moment of this case. Turn on a dime in an instant. Defense asking Spittler why criminal mischief and vandalism wasn't further investigated.
So, by the way, I want to say yesterday, I saw Twitter explode with the defense is asking for a mistrial in this case. And I was like, I kind of want to, okay, what happened, right? This is not that dramatic. This is like, we preserve it for the record. We're going to ask for a mistrial. They didn't turn over anything. Because remember, if you don't object in trial, you can't then use it for your appeal should you lose. So you have to do this stuff. This is not that dramatic. This is just going through the motions.
Defense asking Spittler why criminal mischief and vandalism wasn't further investigated. Spittler says he doesn't know who even investigated the vandalism at the house. Says he believes Armstrong was the one to push over the motorcycle. Makes sense to me. Defense asking if Spittler had turned tunnel vision with this case of murder and separate case of vandalism. Spittler insists he doesn't regret not turning over the vandalism report to the DA or the defense. Spittler says he does not agree this case is a love triangle, calls that term dramatic. says he's aware the news agencies reported it as a love triangle.
Well, that's the only reason I wanted to cover it. That triangle.
Yeah, that's the only reason YouTube's covering it at all.
Yeah.
Spittler says, based on the evidence, he believes Armstrong was a jealous person. He believes jealousy was a possible motive for murder. Question: isn't it true that your focus on Kaitlin Armstrong's jealousy biased your opinion? No, sir. Further questions from the defense. State's redirect. State says he was just handed a 9-page report, presumably of the vandalism incident, which he is entering into the record. A copy was handed to the defense. The defense is being given an opportunity to report it.
Okay.
State
this
following up.
Redirect. I forgot my I forgot to do the notation. All right, so this is redirect. Okay. State's follow up about the rape kit.
There we go. State following up about the rape kit, asking Spittler to share what evidence he believes leads to a possibility of sexual assault. Spittler says he has no evidence of sexual assault.
She didn't test it.
That would be why. Evidence appears Wilson was can't have evidence of something if you don't look for it, right? Evidence appears Wilson was scrolling her phone, eating chocolate, fully dressed. All reasons why Spittler does not suspect sexual assault. A potential rape would not have any of these clues, Spittler says. Spittler says investigators do not have cell phone location data for Armstrong on the night of the murder because she turned her phone off as she was approaching Maple Avenue. Break for lunch, come back for the afternoon.
If the phone is off, you're either being murdered or murdering.
We know this to be true now. We've seen this in several cases. If your phone is off, you're either a murderer or you have been murdered. One of the two. There is no other option.
So the redirect actually starts up here, and I'm going to have to fix these notes because I put redirect down here, but this is actually recross. So I have to fix that.
Okay.
So afternoon, Detective Spittler.
Detective Spittler is still on the stand. He's talking about his interview with Strickland. He says that he was initially suspicious of Strickland, but it became clear to him that it fit the profile of a witness, not a suspect. Spittler recounting all the data from Strickland's phone that helped prove his innocence. His cell phone data, his cell phone location, the fact that Strickland was talking to a friend on the phone at the time Mo Wilson was murdered. Spittler says he is very comfortable with this digital evidence and it is not tunnel vision or confirmation bias. But wouldn't he, though? Wouldn't he say that? No hard evidence, no eyewitnesses.
So this is recross, by the way. So this is the defense asking more questions now.
Okay, so we switched again.
Yeah, I mislabeled that. Got it. Fix it.
No hard evidence, no eyewitnesses. No, Spittler agrees. No Armstrong fingerprints at the scene of the murder. No, Spittler agrees. Question: if Colin Strickland's DNA had come back on the rape kit, would that change your analysis of this case? Answer: we would play what ifs all day. We could play what ifs all day. That was never any evidence that was there, and I have no reason to believe that either of them had sexual intercourse that evening. There is no evidence to suggest that he would have committed a sexual offense in the time that she unlocked the door and his motorcycle is seen driving down the alley.
Okay. Defense is entertaining entering the vandalism incident report that was the earlier center of the mistrial motion earlier this afternoon. It has a summary of the incident, contact information for Strickland, vehicle information, and damage sustained, a narrative, and investigative detectives. The author of the report is Spittler, but he says he is not responsible for investigating it. Spittler says it does not appear any police officers took any action related to the vandalism. By the way, people, police don't care about vandalism. Unless it's in a school. And then Spittler admits that he did not take any action between when Strickland first reported the vandalism to him to the request of an arrest warrant for Kaitlin. No further questions, and the witness is dismissed.
So that's all for Spittler.
That's all for Spittler. Spittler is done. Direct on state's witness Nicole Mertz. All right.
Lives in Austen. First met Kaitlin Armstrong in 2019. Shortly after she moved to Austen. Mertz is a former professional cyclist. Kaitlin was one of her best friends in Austen. They became close in 2020. They would see each other typically every day.
Hang on. I got a question. Half Fiber says, how do you feel about giving up your cell phone to police, even to eliminate yourself as a suspect? Feels like invasion of privacy either way. I agree. I do not recommend turning over your cell phone in any way, shape, or form. Most states require that alibi evidence of the defense be admitted or be exchanged early on in the case. And so I would recommend, again, this is not legal advice, but my personal experience would be hang on to your stuff. Don't turn over any information. If they get a warrant, they get a warrant, and don't even turn over your passcode. So, because, the turning over your passcode is protected under the Fifth Amendment as well. So don't turn over anything. And if your cell phone or anything else that you have is an alibi, turn it over later when necessary, to say, hey, look, it couldn't have been me, so dismiss these charges. Don't turn it over ahead of time, because then they have free reign access to everything. And it could go very, very, very badly for you. So
I do not consent to any searches. Those words.
I will say this too. This is a handy little thing. So everyone that has an iPhone, if you hold down the power button and the top button until you get, where power off and all this stuff, that's all you need to do. You hold it down for 4 seconds, and now your phone is locked, and it will not work with facial recognition. You need to type in your passcode. So there's no way to get into this phone now unless I physically type in my passcode.
Interesting.
That's it. All you have to do is hold down the top volume or the volume up and the power button for 4 seconds. And
that's iPhones
nobody's getting in that phone.
That's iPhone only?
I don't have any other phone other than iPhone, so I can't say. But
fair.
At least on an iPhone.
Fair.
Yep.
Typically every day. Mert says
Okay.
Mert says she knew Strickland pretty well. She was closer to Armstrong. Mert says she didn't know Mo Wilson, but was familiar with her given her profession. Mert says Strickland and Armstrong loved each other and worked well together, but it was always off and on. They never referred to each other as boyfriend, girlfriend, Mert says. Mert says she and Armstrong stayed with Strickland following the Texas ice storm in 21. Mert left after one night. Armstrong never moved out. Strickland would refer to Armstrong as his lady friend. She called their relationship casual, but not casual. That's like it's complicated post. Yeah. Relationship status. It's complicated. Grow up. Mert says she knows.
By the way, when I was in like the dating phase, and I do my deep dive. I have my fake social media accounts. And, you chit-chat with somebody and you're like, I'm going to go snoop on them. And then you can go back through like their history and stuff. And if you ever see anything that says it's complicated, I run for the hills.
Oh, yeah.
Don't mess with that person.
That's all that means is I'm not done with whatever this is. That's all that means. Leave it alone, boys. Leave it alone. Mert says she knows Armstrong was logged into Colin's iCloud. She knew she had access to his bank accounts and emails. She knew she sent emails from Colin's account for his business. Mert says she watched her on a laptop access his accounts. Mert says Armstrong told her in October of 21 that they were breaking up for good, but they would be in business together and would still be very close and would be in each other's lives.
I don't think Mertz is a good friend of Armstrong any longer. That's all I got to say.
Oh, yeah, no. Armstrong probably doesn't think very highly of her anymore. In November of 21, Mertz recounts a big group at the Meteor. Armstrong was quiet, which was not like her. Armstrong told her that Mo was in town with Strickland, and she was upset. Colin had brought her to Justine's the night before, which she knew from an email Colin received from Open Table. Mo walked into the Meteor, but left pretty quickly. Armstrong saw Mo walk in. Armstrong told Mertz that Mo was there. When she told Mertz, she was pretty angry, visibly angry. I had never seen her like that before, which is why I remembered it. Oh, yeah, they're not friends. Mertz recalls asking Armstrong, what she would do if Colin ever dated someone else. Armstrong said she would kill her, Mertz testifies.
You can tell I grabbed this from Twitter. There's the hashtags in there every once in a while. We're doing our best.
We're doing good. We're doing
Right.
good. What's up, Jacob Castro? How you doing, buddy?
Hey,
Welcome.
how's it going?
Mert says she remembers Armstrong telling her that she had called Mo earlier that day. Armstrong told Mo that she and Strickland were living together and in business together, Mert says. That night, Armstrong told Mertz that she was going to Mexico. She left the very next day. Mertz suggested Armstrong stay with her when she gets back from Mexico. But when she got back, Armstrong stayed with Strickland. Armstrong occasionally told Mertz about dating other men. She would go on dates when she and Colin were breaking up. She said she would do it to make Colin jealous. One of those dates, Mertz says, was with an NBA basketball player. Healthy activity.
Did we get a name of this NBA basketball player?
That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, right.
Mertz recalls finding out about Mo Wilson's death in a news article. My first thought was that Kaitlin might have had something to do with it. She and Armstrong were still
bad
friends.
When your friend is like, she can't. I think it's my good friend that did this.
I think my friend might be the person.
It's just a bad way to start off.
It's not a good day. She and Armstrong were still friends. About 2 to 3 days later, Mertz called the police and shared she had information they should know. Beginning
May 11th.
Evidenced by text messages, Mertz had no further contact with Armstrong. Mertz texted Armstrong when she heard about Mo, but the text didn't go through. Armstrong's Instagram had been deleted too.
Nice you got that. I didn't know what IG was.
I hope it was Instagram.
No, that makes sense.
Okay, good. Insta. Upon noticing Instagram had been deleted, it just made me think that she had something to do with it even more. Mertz spoke to Armstrong's sister, who told her that Kaitlin was safe. Armstrong. So Christy knew that she took her. Let me finish reading this one. Why did you reach out to the police? Answer: I just kind of had a feeling. I remembered that comment that she made, and I knew that she was not happy with Colin and Moira hanging out. I just had a feeling and thought that was the right thing to do. So this girl, Mertz, asked Christy, her sister, the one of passport fame, what was going on, and her sister was like, "Don't worry about it, she's safe." So the sister probably knew that she had the passport and took it to Costa Rica, yeah?
I would say so.
It seems like it to me.
Yeah. It does.
Charges. Defense's turn.
I wonder if she's going to be called as a witness. She might be called as a witness. And then
I bet she will.
Charge her. Yeah.
I wonder if she's on the witness list. We should know that, shouldn't we?
There is a witness list out there, but it has like 40-some people. So she might even be named as a witness, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to call
her. Defense's turn. Asks Mertz, what is her birthday? How old is she? What college did she go to? What year did she graduate? Shoe size, favorite color, favorite band, favorite song, favorite TV show. Mertz cannot answer almost all of those questions. Defense wonders if she truly is as good of a friend.
That's clever.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. Are you really that good of a friend? You don't know any of this stuff about her.
That's pretty good.
All right. Clarification on last post. Defense asks Mertz, what is Armstrong's birthday? And how old is Armstrong, etc.? No further witness dismissed.
Interesting.
I missed this one. Okay, hang on. There we go. Jacqueline. I gotta do better with my editing here.
Well, don't beat yourself up too bad, buddy. You did pretty good.
It's not bad. Jacqueline Chasteen. This, I think, carries us through until day 6, actually. So I think this is the last witness for day 5. Okay. Lives in Bentonville, Arkansas. I always say Arkansas. I did too. I was trying not to say Arkansas. All right. She and her husband are heavily involved in the cycling community. Chasteen met Colin, and then met Armstrong through Colin. Her husband was a photographer who
would shoot
calling
races.
Now. Why aren't you watching me on YouTube, children?
Damn kids.
Who would shoot races in Bentonville? Similar or in Bentonville, similar to Austen, there's also a restaurant called the Meteor. Really? Is this like a popular chain or something? I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it either.
It's a local hangout for cyclists. Really? Like, okay.
You guys
It's
have
this,
enough cyclists where you have a local cyclist hangout in Texas
it's the same
or
chain as the
Arkansas?
one in Austin. Okay.
That's also the sponsor of Colin Strickland.
That's
He's
is.
sponsored by the Meteor Cafe.
You're right.
Must be
Yeah.
something.
Okay. Chaston. How do you pronounce this last name?
Chasteen.
Chasteen.
That's how
Chasteen
I'd
met
say it.
Armstrong in 2019 when they were staying with Strickland for his birthday. She and her husband stayed in Colin's home. Upon meeting Armstrong, the two women became friends. Chasteen says she would see Armstrong a few times a year. She became closer to Kaitlin and would send occasional messages on Instagram and Facebook. Observations of Colin and Armstrong's relationship. In the beginning, Colin was head over heels. Towards 2021, they weren't doing well. Armstrong confided she didn't know where the relationship stood. Chasteen says that Colin kept Armstrong at arm's length or at arm's distance. He would say he didn't have a girlfriend. Chasteen recalls an after party at the Meteor in Bentonville. Upon arrival, Armstrong was shooken up. She was trembling and shaking. She told Chasteen that she had found out that Colin had cheated on her, but they were back together. Chasteen says Armstrong said Colin had cheated on her with. Okay, Chasteen says Armstrong. Chasteen, whatever. This is like hearsay within hearsay within hearsay. I don't like that question. But Chasteen says Armstrong said Colin had cheated on her with Mo. Wilson was also at the Meteor at the moment, which is why she believed Armstrong was so upset. Armstrong tells her that Mo was still texting him and reaching out. Armstrong told her that Colin was trying to keep Mo away, but Mo wouldn't leave him alone. I'm sure. Yeah, that's what you say. Like, I don't want her around. Hey, Murphs, thank you very much for the $4.99 super chat. We still like you despite you ignoring us. I know. I'm sorry.
It was up on screen for a while. I was mocking you intently. Mouthing to chat that I would never ignore them.
Not the last one. Weird guy after her. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough. Then you read, damn it.
I got a little behind.
Okay, so Chasteen did not see Strickland or Wilson interact that night. Chasteen did not see Armstrong or Wilson interact that night. The next day, Chasteen texted Armstrong, thanking her for sharing the information. Chasteen didn't think that they were close enough to share those things, so she thanked her for her honesty and offered support. We are now looking at those text messages between Chasteen and Armstrong. The date is January 31st, 2022. It was really good seeing you this weekend. I appreciate you sharing last night, and I'm really sorry you're going through this right now. You deserve someone that makes you feel loved, whoever that may be. Let's go on a trip soon. I'm thinking March. Okay.
I had told her I was sorry that I was going through this. She had described how Colin had cheated, but while she was describing that, she had said in so many words that she wanted to kill her. That she had thought about it, but how she said it at the time. I didn't take it seriously. She said something to the effect that she had bought a gun. I do know the words kill and the words gun were used. Hey, Sal.
Yes, they do, Salvador. That's exactly where they come from.
They very well could.
Pelicans. They come from pelicans.
Pelicans. Damn it. Should bought a gun. I do not know the word. Okay. Next, new text on screen from Armstrong to Chasteen. So nice to see you. Sorry to unload so many emotions. It just all came spilling, and you being there for me really meant a lot. Definitely available. I would love that. Response from Chasteen. I was happy you felt comfortable talking to me. Anytime you need someone to listen, don't hesitate or to text or call. In the courtroom, Chasteen says she did not know Armstrong liked or owned guns, had never seen her shoot a gun. In the spring of 22, Chasteen recalls seeing Instagram pictures of Armstrong in Mexico alone. Chasteen asked if her and Colin were okay, and Armstrong said yes. Chastain says her husband called her after he was contacted informing him that Mo Wilson was killed. She says he didn't have any information about it, but said it might be a burglary. They hung up, but later he calls again and says that Strickland was the last person Mo was seen with. Hearing this, Chastain gasped, recalling the conversation she had with Kaitlin at the Meteor. Chastain reaches
that was January, and this is now May. Yeah, that was January of this year. Okay, so that's not that far. That's like 4
couple
months.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not out of the realm of eye-raising conversations, I guess.
Right.
Chastain reaches out to APD after sleeping on it, called the next morning, and told them what she knew. At first, she was anonymous. Later on, she revealed her identity to APB. Snitch. During the course of the investigation, Chastain agreed to give her name and be identified. She wanted to be anonymous at first because she didn't want to be wrapped up in the murder. No further questions from the state.
Wait, hang on. Okay, so Audra was like trying to get my attention, apparently. Okay, so the biggest thing, throw up like red question marks, because that's the easiest way to get my attention in the chat. Just saying. You don't have to super chat me, or caps apparently don't work either. Y'all missed something about Spittler. What did we miss? Y'all missed something about Spittler. Have to find a better way to do this. Spittler. Spittler stuttered a bit and said, well, I suppose yes. As to, I saw this come up, and I saw it come up late, and this is when we were talking about the DNA, right? If Colin's DNA, is that what you're referring to? Would he have been a suspect? Okay. Is that what you're talking about? Let me know.
She said go up.
I know, but I was going up, and that's the only thing that I remember missing of hers.
Are we talking about this, or am I way off?
Well, I guess all of us over here know that about Spittler. I don't think he knew people could be sexually assaulted with their clothes on by his answer.
Oh, no, that's... I don't know. Oops, shit, sorry.
No, we were grabbing the same one. Defense says, Spittler, you do realize people can be sexually assaulted and have their clothes on. Well, that's, yeah, I mean, you could be. Absolutely. So, and he said, I suppose so, yes. Okay. I don't have that in these notes. But yeah. See, again, why wasn't the rape kit tested? That seems bad. Why wasn't there a quick extraction from the laptop? You could do it in a couple, 3 hours. That seems bad. Why are we not looking into why are we excluding ex-boyfriends that are supposedly jealous before we even get any alibi information? That seems bad, right? I think the defense is doing an okay job here. Okay, so during the course, I don't even remember where we left off. During the course of the
Cross on state's witness, Nicole Mertz. We went to Cross.
Okay.
Asking about the races in Arkansas, who attended them. Was Moira a big name in cycling, the it girl of those races in 22? Answer, yes. Question, is that why it would be such a big deal that she had been murdered? Answer, yes. It was shocking to me. Her husband did social media for various cycling sponsorships, which is why Chastain's husband was initially notified. He would have to put out some sort of press release social post about the event. Defense questions why first phone call from her husband referenced burglary. Second phone call really helped her paint the imagery of Armstrong being involved. Chastain says there were previous text messages between her and Armstrong before the text messages we viewed on scene. Chastain says she provided those texts to the district attorney and police department.
We do like to grab the same one. We do it a lot.
Farrell does too.
She did.
Chastain can't recall if Armstrong stayed at Colin's home the evenings that she and her husband stayed in ATX to help Colin shoot some social media videos. Chastain says the two had just started dating.
Okay.
Chastain says she did not tell her husband that Colin had cheated when Armstrong confided that to her. She says she did not share with her husband that Armstrong had mentioned a gun and killing someone. Chastain says she didn't take Armstrong seriously in that moment. Witness dismissed.
Do you now? What was that case where they're like, did you really know her?
This one. It was this case. You did that a while ago.
No, there was another case where it was like, did you really know this person? I can't remember what case it was. It was like, it was every witness. Okay.
Was it Letitia?
Now we have a Keith, huh?
Was it Letitia Stausch?
No, maybe, yeah, it was. It was Letitia. It was Letitia, I think. That's the one.
I think it might have been. I'm not really sure. I could be wrong.
Let's see.
Direct on state's witness Keith Cox. Nice name. General manager for CarMax says there is surveillance video at the dealership. Cox describes what will happen if someone wants to sell their car. Check in with seller. Review a vehicle. Make assessment. Driver's license will be scanned and title verification will be conducted. Looking at an appraisal offer dated 5/13/22 for a 2012 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Offer went to Kaitlin. No last name listed. Address listed is Armstrong's business address. Offer is 12/2. So you can actually just sell your car to CarMax? Isn't CarMax like a rental car place?
Maybe they have dealers. Maybe they sell used cars. They sell used cars. They have to sell used cars. I believe they do.
Or is it like the okay?
I think they sell used cars.
CarMax offers 7 days for seller to consider the offer. Certificate of title, which with correct name spelling, shows that the car was sold the same date it was appraised. We are so very quickly. We are seeing a Xerox of Armstrong's driver's license. Scrolling down to page 17 of the CarMax paperwork, you can see Kaitlin Armstrong's signature. We are now looking at video footage from CarMax. You can see a woman, presumably Armstrong, sitting in a lounge. She's wearing a white t-shirt, blue leggings, green hat, and her hair is braided.
It was Murdaugh. That was the case. Did you really know this man? That's what
it was Murdaugh.
It was Murdaugh, yeah. But I think they also did it with Letitia. I think you're right. I think they did it with both. But the one I was thinking of where they asked every single freaking witness was Murdaugh.
Did you really know him? Well, obviously not. Obviously not. Her hair is braided. She's plugging a cell phone into a wall outlet. She has 2 phones in her lap. She sits casually as another customer sits and looks at his phone 4 seats down. No further questions.
Kind of hard to. I mean, it is what it is.
What?
Well, I mean, it's like this person is just trying to establish the fact that she sold her car. You know,
yeah,
and it's real quick, on and off.
Not a whole lot of reason for Kenneth Cox or whatever the hell to Keith Cox.
Apparently, there's some cross that requires redirect. So, asking about the location of CarMax, the car transaction was in Southeast Austin. Appraisal typically takes about an hour of professional analyzing the car's worth, conditions, assessed of Jeep, damage to passengers' rear door, damage to quarter panels. Cox says 20 to 50 appraisals happen each day. No further questions from defense. Clarifying, so redirect then. Clarifying about the condition assessment, there is no specific. Why can't I say that?
Specificity.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
The level of damage on the assessment after sale, a reconditioning will be done to the car at the North CarMax location. Interesting, the endorsement on the back of the check says paid to the order of Christine Armstrong with a C. Then it's crossed out and replaced with K or Kaitlin Armstrong. Okay.
Christine's the sister's name.
That's right. So that's crossed out and then it's replaced with Kaitlin.
So she tried to sell it as her sister, and they probably wouldn't take the passport. They wanted a real driver's license, and she didn't.
Well, also the title's probably not in Christine's name either. So
that's probably true as well.
Yeah.
How did she not think she was going to get, like, how do you go through all this and like, oh, I've got this figured out. They'll never find me in Costa Rica after I sell my car with all of this other information attached and sisters. Like, how did she think this was going to work?
Audra, the defense with this next witness, boy, oh boy. Okay. So yeah, she said this last guy is a real creepy guy. And now apparently the defense has a field day with him.
Brian Bell.
Salvador's getting jealous in the chat a little bit.
Sal's why is Sal getting jealous?
Because Farrell's talking about peens and not involving him in the conversation.
Oh,
she was trying to cash the check. Oh, But the check was written out to Christine. Paid to the order of Christine.
What? It was at first.
Yeah, sure looks suspicious. I agree.
Agreed. Hi, Lori Jean. How are you?
Apparently, well, yeah, see, we were grabbing the same one again.
Again.
So apparently, Lori has experience. You absolutely can't sell your car at a car. I don't know. I run cars into the ground. They are basically just half buried in the ground, rusty frames, and then I buy a new one.
I think I'd have to count, but I think I've only owned maybe 4 or 5 cars in my life.
I have owned 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm on my 5th car in my life. That's it. I don't go through cars that much. I really do. Like, my Jeep was like falling apart after going out to Utah, and like I replaced half of the drivetrain in Albuquerque on my way back, and then I got home and the drive shaft fell off. That's what I do to my cars. Like I just
I'm the same. Obviously my Ram's in pretty good shape now, but my last 2 vehicles before that, they both got like wreckers. Like I just junked them. They were just trashed. I drove them until there was nothing left.
Yeah.
Call somebody, get this thing out of my driveway. I'm tired of looking at it.
Okay, so Audra is clarifying. The check was made out to Kaitlin, but she put pay to the order of Christina on the back of the signature line and then crossed it out. Okay.
Got it.
That's what happened. So she tried to cash it in her sister's name.
Tried to.
Yes.
So direct on state's witness, Brian Bell, VP of Global Communications for Strava. Oh, he's already going to be weird. Strava provided
Wrangler. Good year. Back when they were still like the Jeep style and like there was no frills to them. I got the first year of the newer model when they started putting in all the fancy stuff. It was a 99 Wrangler, and it's just not the same. And now I've got what do I have? 2007. And it's got power windows on a freaking Jeep. It's not the same. The 91's a good year. Sorry.
I'm surprised that I'm surprised that a 91 Jeep has lasted that long in the Keys. Isn't it kind of salty down there?
You can buy parts. I get magazines for Jeeps, and I could literally manufacture my own Jeep from those magazines. I could buy the frame. I can buy this. I can buy absolutely everything you need and build a brand new Jeep from the ground up with those magazines.
That's funny. Cuba's close to me than the nearest CarMax.
That's great.
That's pretty good.
I completely forgot where we are.
Strava provided data to APD related to the murder of Mo Wilson. Defense is pushing back against this witness.
This is the VP of Strava. Yeah, okay. I remember reading through this. This guy sounded weird. All right.
Defense is pushing back against this witness. Mr. Bell is primarily in marketing and communications. He calls himself a storyteller. But the defense questions whether or not he's an expert who can accurately testify to the data, how it was created, collected, analyzed, etc. Defense objects to the witness testimony. State clarifies that Bell is not being offered as an expert, but he is familiar with Strava data and knowledge of how the data is made and used as a regular course of business. Defense calls for a sidebar with the judge. The jury is now being excused. Mr. Bell sits politely on the witness stand and wonders what's happening. He is thoughtful. How do you know what he's wondering? Tweeter of thoughts.
Yeah, I know. This is why I don't like going to the Twitter sphere for this. And that's why I said at the beginning. And for everyone who's new that's coming in that didn't hear this is not Audra's notes. And it's nothing was Audra's fault, but we don't have the notes from Audra for day 5. And so I had to go to the Twitter universe in order to get this information. And so take that with a grain of salt. This is not the quality note-taking that we typically get from Audra. This is someone's Twitter feed. Now, it is somebody in the courtroom, so I will say that, but they have things like this that I don't really put a lot of stock into. So anyways.
He is thoughtful with each response he gives, taking a beat to answer each question the defense asks him about his credibility. Defense even asked him if he brought his CV with him.
No, Bell responds. Now a discussion with the judge without the jury present. Yeah, so they're doing voir dire. And just so you guys know, so if someone wants to challenge the qualifications of a witness, they could do voir dire. It's the same thing you do with the jury. You're essentially asking foundational questions. It's a very limited examination, but it's headed up by the defense because they're the ones objecting. And this is outside, usually outside of, some of it can be outside of the jury. It sounds like the jury was there for part of it, but not all of it. And then there's discussions without the jury present. So it's very appropriate to do that when you want to judge somebody's foundational information that they're going to be testifying about or relying on in their testimony anyways.
What's CV?
Curriculum vitae, resume.
Got it.
Yep.
That was fancy people talk there, buddy.
Curriculum vitae.
Yes. Bringing out the Latin. Buckle up, y'all. Defense believes he can't testify that they are true and accurate depictions of what the exhibits purport to be if he did not actually create the exhibits. The state is now presenting the Strava maps to the judge for her to see on her own.
By the way, if you guys watch MLS Goes to Court, we had this very same issue with Google Analytics in that we didn't have somebody from Google there to testify. And so you have to do a whole bunch of extra steps. Sometimes the court won't even allow it. I had a case where we used Google Maps and the court wouldn't allow it, even though my client testified that I drive this route every day and this information is accurate. It wasn't enough. So it's judge's call. It's a judge is the gatekeeper. So the first map we see is the GPX file. The GPS data file that Strava provided, which shows the path the cyclist took, displayed in a Google satellite image. Defense making a point that you cannot show satellite maps from Google with data from Strava and expect Mr. Bell to testify about its validity, which I kind of agree with.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. The state admits that one of its analyst has plugged the Strava data into a Google Maps satellite image. The judge will allow the two images to be published as demonstrative evidence with the understanding that Bell cannot authenticate it. Okay. So as long as there's a limiting instruction, I guess, and it's demonstrative.
That seems like a fair compromise, right? Because like it's a Google map. Everybody knows that they're pretty legit.
Yeah.
That I'm okay with that.
But a demonstrative evidence is given no weight at all.
Right.
Like the jury's not supposed to consider it. Like the attorney could have an image of a map and as the witness is testifying, draw it, right? Well, the attorney's drawing it. It's not evidence. They're just using it for demonstrative purposes. David can't pronounce basic names, but knows Latin. Well, I am an attorney. Yes.
That's funny. Jury now back in the courtroom. The exhibits are being published for the jury to see. The first is Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, which shows the names Moira Wilson, Kaitlin Armstrong, and Colin Strickland. Their email addresses, unique ID numbers, subscriber status, and that's weird. And creation date for each athlete. Colin has been a Strava user since 2012. Wilson since 2014, Armstrong since 2018. More Excel spreadsheets with Strava data shows the different athlete IDs and whose profiles they were accessing. One Excel column, Get, indicates that an athlete has requested information from someone's Strava profile.
Interesting. Who requested such information and whom were they requesting it of?
I wonder. Some IDs are listed as athletes, others as pros. Strava will designate a user as a pro once they reach professional status. Bell pointing out the number of times Moira Wilson's profile was accessed on the days leading up to her murder. There were at least 6 instances on the spreadsheet that Bell pointed out. Damn. Over how many days, though?
I don't know. It just says the days leading up, right? So I don't know.
If you're watching somebody's times, right? Like if you're following an athlete's time, say in track and field, you're going to watch every time they race, right? You're going to keep up to date with as much information as you can.
This is interesting. So when I stopped this earlier and I said, this is from the Twitter sphere, and the guy was commenting about what a wonderful presenter this defendant or this witness was, and how he took the time to answer the questions.
Well thought out. Blah, blah, blah.
Audra was like, it took him forever to answer the fucking question, and he sounded extremely coached. This is why I really wish these were televised, because you don't, I mean, obviously we have two different people sitting in a courtroom watching the exact same testimony with two very different opinions as to this guy's demeanor. And he was creepy. Yeah. So I wish there were more cameras in the courtrooms. That's all I gotta say.
Me 3 and lapel mics for everybody.
Yes.
There's at least 6 instances in the spreadsheet that Bell pointed out. We are now looking at the previously questioned satellite images with Strava data overlaid. There is a blue line with a legend that says afternoon ride. The blue line travels from the scene of the murder and out of the neighborhood. No further questions from the state. Cross on state's witness Brian Bell. Asking about the source of the data we saw in the Excel spreadsheet. Bell says it comes from a proprietary aggregate software that Strava uses. Defense asking about the login process and whether or not the app can stay logged in over a period of time. Bell says the platform and software was recently updated because of security issues, so the map from 2022 does not exist today. Because of a software update, Bell is not able to tell what type of device Armstrong was using when tracking Mo Wilson's rides. Bell admits that the GPS data on Strava's platform is less detailed and specific than the ones the state created for the jury to review. Court is adjourned for the evening. That's interesting.
That's interesting. So the demonstrative evidence is not quite exactly what Strava and their data would produce. So that's good. You take a little jab at that. Again, it's all you're just interjecting all this a little bit of reasonable doubt. Those freaking spreadsheets. I love having Audra in the chat because she's sitting there watching it the whole time.
I'm a fan.
Can you what?
Can I excuse myself for a couple minutes?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't have much else to say. If you guys have questions, fire away.
Are we doing day 6 or no? Probably not, right?
No. This is just day 5.
I thought we were. Never mind. Then I'll just hang out.
Yeah, no. We're just gonna do day 5 because I don't have all of day 6 yet.
That makes perfect sense.
This afternoon. Yeah. So what we'll try to do is we'll try to bring you guys day 6 tomorrow at some point, based off of our schedules.
Which is today. Was today.
Yeah. It was Thursday's testimony. We'll present to you on Friday. And that's okay. We're a day behind, but it's better than otherwise.
I think it works out better this way, to be honest.
Yeah. I only have the morning for today.
No court tomorrow, Audra says.
Yeah, no court tomorrow. They have a holiday. So there's only 3 days of trial in this week. So they had Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, because Tuesday was election day, and apparently tomorrow's a holiday. I don't know what tomorrow's holiday is.
I think Saturday is Veterans Day, so they might have got a 3-day weekend, but I could be wrong about that too.
Yeah, it's Veterans Day on Saturday, so yeah.
Yes.
Veterans Day is observed on the 10th, so that's what it is. No, I don't have court. I was like, don't I have a hearing tomorrow? No, I don't. Okay. Yes, thank you very much, Audra. Yeah. I don't have anything else to say other than I'm gonna drop all this stuff. I do have other pictures that Audra's been sending me. We've got courtroom sketches and more pictures of that investigator Spittler and things like that. So I'll put all that in Discord. If you guys are a member of MLS and you haven't been in Discord yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. But a lot of the information from the cases that we cover are there. And I'll post this stuff shortly. We also have timelines and other things related to this case, as well as photographs. This is what we didn't get to it today. That's right, because it must have happened on day 6. So this is actually the interrogation room. This is how Mo looked. She's in the bottom left. So you can see like blonde hair. She looks all dialed up.
Not Mo. Mo.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Armstrong.
Kaitlin Armstrong.
Yes, Kaitlin Armstrong. So she's all dialed up. And then she ends up looking fairly haggard when they bring her back from Costa Rica. So this is where she's being interrogated. And I was going to say, what kind of interrogation room is it? Look at, the
walls.
The walls. It's just the panels are falling off. Come on, guys. And then this was an interesting. This was on, I think, News Nation. They were just talking about the date. So on May 11th, Mo Wilson is shot dead. May 13th, Armstrong sells her Jeep. May 14th, she's spotted at the airport in New York City. And then May 18th, she flies from Newark, New Jersey to Costa Rica. And she is, within a week, she is in Costa Rica. And then June 30th, she is picked up and arrested in Costa Rica. So that's the timeline after the attack. And it sounds like she was looking at these dates right around the 13th, May 13th, the day she sells her Jeep. The question is still, is it consciousness of guilt? Or is it she's running scared from the police because she knows that they're looking at her and she truly didn't do it?
Could be.
I'd love to be a courtroom sketcher. It would be cool. Be very cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna post all those. I don't know where Otto got them from, but they're awesome. So I'm gonna post those in the Discord. You guys can all have a look at those.
Thank you, Food Fairy. Appreciate it. Tell him Happy Veterans Day as well.
Are we doing a Veterans Day stream, or are you doing a Veterans Day stream? I should say.
I don't know. Should we?
Maybe? I've got. Saturday. I've got Jody, and then I'm on with Winning Reality.
Oh,
Saturday's
nice.
Gonna be a tough day.
That'll be fun.
Question: why didn't she go where there's no extradition treaty?
That's a good question.
I don't know. It was get sister's passport. Yeah, I know. Yeah, she went there with her sister's passport. I mean, she was obviously trying to hide.
Maybe. Well, they say, you get caught when you think you're smart enough that they won't find this part, right? So, like, if I've already covered my tracks, they'll never find me here hiding in this alleyway.
Well, the thing is, too, is she had traveled a lot. She had traveled to Mexico, Costa Rica, Peru, I think, even
Bali, Indonesia. She was all over the place. Yeah.
She's traveled a lot of places. So maybe she felt like this is a place that is far enough off the grid, but I know enough about it that I can make it work, rather than a place where I'm just going to literally starve to death living under an overpass or something.
Right.
So, yeah. What's the place that doesn't extradite? I mean, you go to Iran. I don't know how long she lasts there. Trying to think of other places, countries that don't extradite.
I think there's only a couple. I think there's
only a couple, and they're usually like Middle Eastern countries that we're kind of at war with.
Yeah. And
Russia,
where you would want to be.
It's places you don't really want to go to.
As Trump said, they're all shitholes.
Exactly. So that's our update for day 5 rather. Very interesting. I'm not sure. At the end of the day, my gut says she's guilty, but I really want to hear the evidence.
Same. They've yet to prove it.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely establishing.
They're getting closer.
Yeah, they're getting closer. I mean, so we established the motive. We're establishing sort of the consciousness of guilt type of things, right? Mm-hmm. We have some friends that are saying some things like, "Oh, I'll kill her."
Some character assassinations by friends, if you will.
Yeah. But again, it could all be completely innocent things. And so I'm always weary. I always take what the state says with a healthy dose of salt. So that's just my position. I don't want this tool. I hear all the evidence.
I don't know about this till.
Yeah, till I hear all the evidence. Yep. Nope. That's exactly where I'm at. But thank you, everybody in chat, for sticking around. Thank you, Merce, for this super chat.
Yes, you all are amazing, and we love and appreciate each and every one of you.
I haven't been paying attention to Valhalla's chat much. I know I see it pop up, but I don't know who's where. So Audra's over in Valhalla's chat. Okay. It used to be, before we got this whole thing where you have control of my studio, where it would identify who was where. It used to. And now I don't know where anybody is. So.
Well, and you know what? I did notice that on the super chats, it shows up in the StreamYard, though. Well, no, it doesn't. Never mind.
What's that?
Because that's yours, not mine. Never mind. I'm an idiot. Disregard.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I didn't see any super chats or stuff pop up on your end, but I wasn't paying attention to it. That's usually where I look for it. But anyways, Venezuela probably doesn't. Yeah, that's true.
I think Venezuela might be one of them.
Yeah.
Might be.
I wish I knew your Insta and first name.
First names. Where are you reading that from?
Wendy.
Oh,
I wished I knew your Insta and first names.
Well, I'll make it easy. I don't have an Insta, and just call me Valhalla.
Yeah. He's on Twitter now.
I am on Twitter. _ Valhalla awaits.
Murph says $4.99 to you, Valhalla. Thanks for paying attention to chat.
You're welcome, Murph. Thank you.
You know, they just want me to sit back, stream something, and then entertain them. You know, that's what they want me to do.
Yeah, that's exactly what they want us to do.
All right, y'all. Have a good evening. Valhalla, what do you got coming up? Anything other than this stream tomorrow evening?
I think just the stream at the moment. I'm not really sure.
I'm going to do a Turtle Boy tomorrow, I think.
Nice.
Turtle
with Turtle Boy or without?
I'm just going to do it about Turtle Boy if he wants to join in. But I'm going to set that up because I've got a couple things. The judge issued an opinion on his case with the motion to dismiss. So I'm going to go over that. And then we have some protesters that were threatened with intimidating witnesses because they were standing holding signs on a public road, but within eye shot of a witness who happened to also be a police officer. But yeah, you can't stand here and do this because you're within eye shot of a witness and therefore you're intimidating this witness. Yeah. So they're attempting to use this witness intimidation to stop people protesting the Karen Reed case. So we're going to have a talk about that.
That's a little sus, huh?
Well, see, this is what I say. If you give an inch, the government will take 10,000 miles. So it's absolutely sus. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow at some point. I'll set that stream up. It'll either be before or after our love triangle update. But yeah, so that's about it. Thank you all for joining us. I don't know. I didn't redirect anybody.
Oh, I didn't either.
You know what I can do? I mean, before we do go anywhere, I'm going to set up a redirect to who's live right now. Anybody live right now? Because I know MG is going later.
Shizzy, Turtle Boy, Kaiser, Jessica Reloaded, Winning Reality, Zealand, Potentially Criminal, Uncivil Law, and that's all I've got.
I don't know who I can redirect to. Let's see. What do you guys want to go to? Taking Care of Maya. Uncivil Law is talking about that. Kaiser's got The Edge of Reality, Phoenix Lights, UFO sightings. Jessica Reloaded is doing Johnny Depp. You guys want to go over to Jessica and Shizzy and talk about some Johnny Depp?
Let me do my thing too before you
Kaiser.
shut it off. Customization.
Let's see. Sean's on. Oh, Sean's on. I'll send you guys over to Sean. Potentially Criminal. All right. I'm going to redirect you guys to Potentially Criminal. Said hi.
Hold on. Don't shut it down. How do I do this? Redirect. There we go. Add. Got it. It's only the second time I've ever done it, y'all.
Oh, I can't redirect. He's got to turn that on.
What a jerk.
He won't allow me. You guys, you know what? So I need to DM him.
Shizzy.
Tell him.
You, Kaiser. Uncivil.
You know what? I'm gonna send you guys over to Stranger's Land. I want you guys to go over there, and I want you to drop a link.
Where?
And say, I'm gonna send you guys to Turtle Boy. Oh, I can't redirect to Turtle Boy either.
I don't have Turtle Boy. Damn. You know what?
Nobody has their links turned on. Why don't people have more links turned on?
Here's what we're gonna do. I'm making a command decision. Being the captain and all. I'm going to send my group to Jessica. You send your group to Shizzy.
Okay.
That'll work.
Sounds good. We'll do that. Jeez. You're Jessica. I'm Shizzy.
Correct.
Okay.
That way
People need to allow the redirects.
I don't know why you wouldn't. Well, you know what, though? As Turtle Boy, maybe that's probably a good idea. He might get flooded with somebody that doesn't like him so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I can't redirect to anybody excited. So You're just gonna have to go over. I'm gonna check out Kaiser's actually because I like the UFO stuff. I'll put a link to his stream in the chat. You guys can all go check it out if you want. But otherwise, you're gonna be redirected over to Shizzy from my end.
And Jessica from mine. Jessica Reloaded.
All right. JD info was lame.
Johnny Depp info was lame?
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Something dropped about Johnny Depp. I don't know what it was. I saw Amber Turd's girlfriend tweeting all over the place today about something, and it wasn't paying attention.
Are they still together? I thought they broke up.
I have no idea.
Pretty sure.
I think she's like trying to get back in her good graces by tweeting about her or something.
Gross.
I don't pay attention. I spread rumors that have absolutely no substance.
That's what I do. Here
all right,
is,
you all. You set up? You're good to go?
I am. I'm going to throw Kaiser's link in my chat real quick. But otherwise, yes.
I put a link to Kaiser's in my chat.
Now there's one in my chat as well.
There you go. Yeah. And tell him that he needs to allow redirects.
Who?
Kaiser.
Kaiser has redirects.
Oh, we're just not redirecting to him. No, okay, it's Sean. Sean needs to.
Sean needs to. So does Turtle Boy,
apparently. I'm going to jump in his chat and yell at him for a minute. All right, guys. Have a good night. Valhalla, thank you for having me on your channel today.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming. I think that we had a good time, and you're welcome back anytime you want to come back, buddy. Anytime.
Yeah, have a good night. Bye.
Later, chat.